George Washington. I was the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army during the Revolution, and I was unanimously chosen to be the first president of the United States of America.
I'm President John Adams, and I took care of the XYZ affair by responding with the Alien and Sedition.
I'm an American founding father, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and the third president of the United States.
I'm President James Madison, and I co-authored the Federalist Papers and renewed the charter for the busts to raise funds for the War of 1812.
I'm James Monroe, the fifth president of the United States. I was the last president who was a founding father and the last president from the Virginia dynasty.
I'm John Quincy Adams, and I faced steadfast hostility from the Jacksonians in Congress, which is perhaps why I had relatively few accomplishments while in the White House.
I'm President Andrew Jackson, and I kind of just did whatever I wanted to do.
My shrewd dealings laid the foundations for the Democratic Party and the modern political machine. I was nicknamed the Little Magician because of my small size and how I magically ended up on the winning side of arguments and debates.
My name is William Henry Harrison. I delivered a long inaugural speech, caught a cold, and died a month later. My campaign slogan was Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
I'm John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States. I was elected president after my running mate's death in April of 1841.
I am James Polk. During my administration, America's territory grew by more than 1/3 and extended across the continent for the first time.
I'm President Zachary Taylor, and I accomplished the Clay-Bulwer Treaty in 1850, but died.
I am one of the last members of the Whig Party to be elected as president. Being vice president to President Zachary Taylor, I assumed presidency after Taylor's death.
My name is Franklin Pierce. I supported the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which overruled the Compromise of 1850.
I'm James Buchanan Jr., the 15th president of the United States. I served immediately prior to the Civil War. I accomplished nothing.
77 years ago, I, Abe Lincoln, was basically the one who ended slavery and the Civil War. Yet, I don't think everyone was thrilled about that, considering I was shot while watching a play.
I'm President Andrew Johnson, and I purchased Alaska from Russia, but was seriously unpopular among the radical Republicans.
I, Ulysses S. Grant, am best known as the Union general who led the North to victory over the Confederate South during the American Civil War.
My name is Rutherford B. Hayes. I oversaw the end of Reconstruction, began the efforts that led to the Civil Service Reform, and attempted to reconcile the divisions left over from the Civil War.
I'm James Abraham Garfield, the 20th President of the United States. Until my assassination earlier that year, I served 9 terms in the House of Representatives.
I am Chester Arthur. I was only president because Garfield got shot. So carry on.
I'm President Cleveland, and I used court injunctions and federal troops to crush the Pullman strike. I was also the only president to serve 2 separate terms.
I'm an American military officer and politician and the oldest president to be elected at the time. My 32nd day, I became the first to die in office, serving the shortest tenure in U.S. presidential history. I served 1 month, the shortest term of any president.
My name was William McKinley. I led the U.S. during the Spanish-American War, and the U.S. won many important overseas territories. I was also assassinated moments after giving away my lucky carnation.
I'm Theodore Roosevelt Jr., the 26th President of the United States. I'm often referred as TR. I was an American statesman, author, explorer, soldier, naturalist.
I am William Howard Taft. I was the 27th President of the United States, and later the 10th Chief Justice of the United States, and I am the only president who served both of these offices.
President Woodrow Wilson, and I led the U.S. into World War I and passed the Espionage and Sedition Act to shore up wartime support and suppress anti-war opinion.
I'm a member of the Republican Party. My term in office was fraught with scandal, including Teapot Dome. I embraced technology and was sensitive to the plights of minorities and women. I am the first president to ride to his inauguration in an automobile.
My name is Calvin Coolidge. Although my term was marked by economic prosperity, I ignored many signs of the impending stock market collapse, which led to the Great Depression.
I'm Herbert Clark Hoover, the 31st President of the United States. I was a professional mining engineer, and I was raised as a Quaker.
I am Franklin D. Roosevelt. I made the New Deal. There are rumors that World War II ended the Great Depression. But let's be real here. I did.
I'm President Harry S. Truman, and I called for the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then passed the Marshall Plan along with guiding the American economy through a post-war
I brought to my term of presidency my prestige as commanding general to the victorious forces in Europe during World War II. I obtained a truce in Korea and worked incessantly during my 2 terms to ease the tensions of the Cold War.
My name is John F. Kennedy. In 1962, the U.S. and the Soviet Union was close to a nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis, but I managed to ease the tensions. I was assassinated in the 3rd year of my term.
I'm Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th President of the United States. I'm often referred to as LBJ. I assumed the presidency after serving as the 37th Vice President.
I am Richard Nixon. I was impeached, and I was the only president to resign from office.
I'm President Ford, and I ended U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War and controversially granted a presidential pardon for President Nixon for his role in the Watergate scandal.
On my first day in office, I issued a pardon for all those who dodged the draft in the Vietnam War era. I did not pardon deserters, however. Energy was also a huge issue during my administration, so the Department of Energy was thus created.
My name is Ronald Reagan. I enjoyed great popularity despite my controversial conservative policies. I also survived an attempted assassination.
I'm George Herbert Walker Bush. Phew! The 41st President of the United States. I had previously served as the 43rd Vice President, a Congressman, an Ambassador, and Director of Central Intelligence. I'm also the oldest living former President of the United States. Woohoo!
I am William Jefferson Clinton. You could call me Bill Clinton. During my administration, the U.S. enjoyed more peace and economic well-being than at any time in history. Yes?
Mr. President, Monica Lewinsky is here to see you.
I'll be right there.
I'm President George W. Bush, and I ordered an invasion of Afghanistan to overthrow the Taliban, destroy al-Qaeda, and capture Osama bin Laden following 9/11.
I am Barack Obama, and I am the first African-American president of the United States, as well as the firstborn in Hawaii. My policy decisions have addressed a global financial crisis and have included changes in tax policies, legislation to the United States, healthcare industry, and foreign policy initiatives.
I'm James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States. I was the last... You've got to be kidding me. Oh my god. Hey, what do you want? I'm recording videos. I'm George Herbert Walker Bush. Phew. 41st President of the United States.
I survived an attempted assassination.
Let me practice it first. No, wait. I don't want it. I'm George Washington. You're in the video!
What?
I had relatively few accomplishments while in the White House. Oh. Okay, no, just do it again.
My name is... My name is William McKinley. Territories. I was also assassinated. My name is William McKinley. I led the U.S. during the Spanish-American War, and the U.S. won many important overseas territories. I was also assassinated moments. I don't know why I keep laughing. Why does he make me laugh?
No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home.